she would say biphobic things to me, and hold on. I think it's okay if you're a lesbian that wants to date other lesbians for, the shared experience of being a lesbian. Her reasoning that she would volunteer this information to me. Just bring it up out of nowhere. And like looking back on it, she wasn't a good friend to me. She was always kind of in like some weird competition with me, like make me feel like, oh, well, like I would never be. And I'm like, I don't know why you bring this up. But she would say, I would never want to date a bi woman because I think it's disgusting thinking of my wife or girlfriend being with a man. She would say it like that. And she was just doing weird shit all night. I had a friend at this party pull me to the side and say that she had forced her to kiss her when she had told her no and kept trying to do it and was really uncomfortable and wanted to leave.
I witnessed it happen.
And Chloe saw it happen.
Yeah.
The ironic part about this friend that she assaulted is she's a bi girl with a boyfriend. And I'm like, oh, all those times you would sit there and be like, yeah, I could never date a bisexual girl because I just think it's gross to think of my partner with a guy, but you're like assaulting my bisexual friend who has a boyfriend.
Yeah, Nazis are pretty f***ing gay. It's the Gender Podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science. Science will solve all the problems. That's the trans agenda.
There's trans people in science gonna save the day.
Solve the problems with us. With science. Science, bitch.
Science and my trans agenda. I'm returning trans.
Hi.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Gender Yap Podcast.
Gender Yap Podcast.
My name is Chloe.
And my name is Laura.
And today we are talking about biphobia, because that has been in the news a lot lately.
It's just a reoccurring conversation on like queer TikTok that I feel like reoccurs quarterly every year.
Yeah, it seems to just kind of, but like in the last 3 days or something, by the time this posts, maybe it'll be over. But like I've just, every time I open the app, I'm seeing people make videos about it. I'm seeing Cat Black talking about it. I'm seeing like everywhere I go, it's just like biphobia, the lesbian community, blah, blah, blah. Like we need to talk about this, whatever. So we're going to talk about it.
We had kind of tried to make this video maybe like 7 or 8 months ago, like way back. Yeah. And I decided not to put it out because after that had happened, I had a falling out with a friend that made me kind of like feel like I didn't go hard enough on. I wanted to sit. I digress. I wanted to sit with this topic for a while before I made a video.
Sure.
And I'm glad even after like that falling out with that friend happened, I didn't make it either because I still have a much more calm and collected view on the whole thing, right?
Okay.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
We would love it if you did those things.
Hit the bell. Check out our Patreon.
Yeah, our Patreon's lit.
We are on Patreon, yes.
Yeah, we got a bunch of people who we love so much.
Yes,
who
thank
interact
you,
with
all
our
20 of you. There's probably more by the time this comes out. Yeah, thank you so much. Like, genuinely, it means everything. Because we're, like, this is the only source of money I have right now, Cupcake Kid. So, like,
we were making money on Patreon before we were monetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so that was really like a little kick in the pants. Like, oh yeah, we should probably keep going or whatever.
Yeah. Special shout out to JJ, by the way, because she is on all of our shit.
You are a real one, yeah.
Yeah.
She's always around.
Yeah, she's always interacting with our Patreon. Like, she's awesome. Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, we do Get Ready With Me's.
Yes, we do story times while we do Get Ready With Me.
Laura tells her spicy ballet stories, and we talk about our friendship and just random shit.
Random stories.
Talk about weird people we've encountered in the world, and we play Magic the Gathering.
Yes, we play Magic the Gathering. We do random conversations about, fourth dimensional beings. We talked about like our theories on the origins of patriarchy, and we put up bloopers too from all of our episodes.
We also did a recent one where we talked about our experiences in the entertainment industry.
Yes, that's right. We did. I knew there was another one.
Yep, because I worked in the film industry for a minute, and Laura was in the music industry. Yeah, we have experiences.
We do.
You might say. But yeah, so if you like any of that sounds interesting, head over to the Patreon. Or if you just want to like support us as we continue to grow and hopefully make this our full-time thing.
Yes.
We would love it.
Yes.
We love all of you.
Yes.
Yeah, send us an email, thegenderyap@gmail.com. That would be cool too. We'd love to hear from people. I should check that email. I haven't checked it in like a week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably something in there.
There's probably,
We've been getting emails.
Yeah, we
so,
should check that out.
yeah, that'd be chill. Anyway, yeah, we should probably dive in. Take it away. How did this come up? Why are we doing this?
So, there was recently some discourse around a podcast called the Queer Collective Podcast. They are based out of Canada.
They are.
I started seeing videos from lesbians and trans people saying they were very tone deaf when talking about both topics in some recent videos.
Both?
With both topics, yes.
Which topics?
We've
only talked about biphobia.
Oh, fuck my life. My brain isn't working right now.
What do you mean? What's the other one?
I'm going to start that whole thing over.
No, I'm keeping all of this in.
People were saying they were being very tone deaf when discussing trans people, specifically trans women, and lesbians.
Yeah, okay. Well, I haven't looked into any of it, so you'll have to inform me what's been going on. Usually when I see tone deaf about trans women, I just run away in the opposite direction.
And I don't blame you.
Because I don't need to fucking hear it and validate my own fears that lesbians all secretly hate me.
Yeah, most of it was around lesbophobia, and I definitely agree that some of the shit they were saying was like, what the fuck? Even as a bisexual, I was like, what the fuck? We just recently did an episode about, you know, like, are trans women socialized as men? Which, like, to summarize that episode, no.
Yeah.
To some extent, maybe the world tries, but they're not men, so.
There's, like, little things where it's like, yeah, okay, like, that will shape your experience of the world. But, like, it generally no.
They basically took the stance that like the trans women are technically socialized as men, sometimes, sort of that kind of a thing. I haven't really watched like a full episode of theirs. I watched clips mostly. They're like one of the other like queer related adjacent podcasts that I'll kind
have
of
they
like.
Ever had a trans woman on?
They have, yes.
Okay, because every time I see their videos,
it's usually cis people or non-binary people.
Yeah, and maybe some trans masks. It seems like maybe sometimes.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, one of the hosts is a lesbian, and then the white person in the relationship, she is a bisexual, and they were both with some guests saying stuff along the lines of like, oh, you can like be attracted to men and still be a lesbian, which like lesbians like rightfully got upset about, like, oh, it's fine if you just like, sometimes the lesbians are dick crazy. It is harmful rhetoric. I even as a bisexual understand that. I have been in relationships with women where you know, men have approached us or one of us and just like starts hitting on us and we're like, hey, fuck off, we're gay, we're together, and they just don't fuck off. I am not saying that women are the cause of it. It really is patriarchy, and I want to drive home that I think the summary and takeaway from this episode is going to be cis men are always the problem, cishet men are always the problem.
I'm fine with that just being like the tagline of our podcast.
Oh my god, literally
the
like,
gender colon.
The cishet men are always the problem podcast.
Cishet men are the problem.
The misandry podcast. No.
We didn't say all cis
men shouldn't be able to vote or own property podcasts. Like, I don't know.
Jesus, you're taking it so far.
I'm joking, sort of, but like.
For the record, I disagree with Laura when she says these things, but
I don't disagree with myself, but also at the same, this is why I'll never be a politician, because I know I would be like a bad politician. I would like do a revenge. And at least I'm self-aware enough to know that. And if you're a guy and you fuck with our podcast, I never mean you. I would write it into law that you're exempt, just so you know. Especially if you're like queer or like a man of color.
But then,
if you're white, thin ice. I don't know.
Are you queer if you're a cis-het white man? Can you be?
Well, I said men shouldn't be able to own property. I like blanket statement.
Okay.
The thing I was trying to specify.
We'd said
I think I said that. I don't know.
Cis-het, we said cis-het, we said cis-het, and then one time you left it out, and I think it was clear that that's what you meant.
Whatever. It's just, I don't know. I feel like anyone who still watches this podcast is able to follow my bullshit. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know sometimes.
I usually edit it so that it's more clear.
Yeah, my brain is so chaotic.
What's our point?
A lot of the reasons I don't engage in a lot of queer discourse, like when we're like fighting amongst each other, is because I feel like the point is always missed, because the root of the problem is patriarchy and heteronormativity and the way cis-het men treat people, you know? Misogyny, all of that. I feel like that's the root of the problem that we never fully get to. we're going to touch on the first line of discourse, is, lesbians getting angry at bi women for certain things. Bi women will say...
For existing.
So there's certain things I understand. I want to be clear. If you're a lesbian and you prefer to date only other lesbians, you're les for les, and it's because, you want that same shared experience, I think that's perfectly okay. And I understand that. And I also know from personal experience, I feel lesbians and where they come from sometimes, because there are a lot of women that are bi, but they're not romantically attracted. I say this all the time. I wish we had a separate label for girls like that. Like, just use bi-curious or something. Why are you telling people you're bisexual and you would never love or care for a woman?
I think there's nuance in that, sort of, because I do think that for too long in our culture, we have correlated romance and sexuality.
Yeah.
And we have assumed that all relationships that are romantic are sexual, and all relationships that are sexual might be romantic.
Yeah.
But we do have terminology for that. Like, we've created the homo-romantic or hetero-romantic language specifically to counter the fact that, like, you can be bisexual and hetero-romantic or homo-romantic, or you can be homosexual and hetero-romantic. Like, there's so many different ways that we all interact with each other.
Yeah.
And also, even the labels themselves are kind of stifling, because I think the vast majority of people are at least a little bi.
On the spectrum somewhere,
right?
yes.
Like, whether it's romance or it's sexuality or whatever, like, there's so much wiggle room, and we keep creating these boxes to, like, shove people into, and then it's like, if you ever step outside the box for 5 seconds, we'll strip your label away, and you're fucking kicked out of the community.
Yeah.
And it's like, that feels crazy to me.
Yeah, but this is the thing I will say I understand lesbians on. Men are very sexually violent towards women that are attracted to other women. Like, sapphic relationships
100%.
are very hypersexualized. This is the one place where I will say I side with lesbians on, and why they get very particular and need it to be in a box, because it keeps them safe.
Yeah.
And really, at the end of the day, the problem is men don't respect women consenting. They don't care if you consent or not.
Right.
They don't understand it.
Yeah.
They don't even think of it as a thing. It's just, you're a woman, I would like to fuck, and now I'm going to sexualize you because you're saying you don't want to fuck men. I'm going to break you. It is a really disgusting fetish thing that guys do.
It is. It absolutely
and
is.
they don't understand consent, and they can be predatory. My ex that I had started dating when I became friends with you, we went out to a bar one night, and there was this guy who kept coming over drunkenly hitting on us, and I kept telling him to fuck off. I was like, we are gay. Can you please fuck off? Because I'm not going to tell him I'm bisexual in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him we have husbands. We're all over each other. He's already invited himself in. I'm going to tell you to fuck off, you know? And he kept making rape threats, thinking it was funny. I flipped the fuck out on this guy. I flipped out on a couple of other guys at a separate bar later that night. Bi women that don't have romantic attraction to women do frustrate me, because when they're going around with all of these guys that they are trying to impress by being like, I like fucking bitches, whatever, I'm bi.
Yeah.
It creates like a green light for them. And I'm not saying it's the woman's fault, but like, at the same time, I do wish bi women on that side of the spectrum would listen to lesbians and bi women that are romantically attracted to other women, because it does put us in danger. I would love to live in a world where men just respected consent.
That would be great.
But they don't.
Super nice.
So we have to be vigilant and be, cautious in the way we say things and word things. The worst biphobia I have experienced was from cis men. I've had guys, I tell them I'm a bisexual. It's, oh, so we can have threesomes? Oh, so I could fuck other bitches because you could fuck other, oh, can I like watch you get weird shit like that? Like, I feel like if we're going to address biphobia, that's where we need to start.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So there are a lot of lesbians that do have a fear of like, if I date a bi woman, she's going to leave me for a man, which I think that sometimes comes from a place of internalized misogyny.
It's also just compet. I feel like that's something that enough lesbians have experienced, and like, whether they personally have or like their best friend has or whatever, like, lesbian spaces are small. Even in Los Angeles, like, the lesbian community, it's big, but it's not big. Like you can fit all the lesbians into one park on one day every summer.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like,
There's not that many
you
of
know,
them.
it's a small community, and it doesn't take long before the circles start overlapping. And I feel like everybody knows all the same stories of all the same couple of girls who are bisexual, were dating a woman, and then left her and like married a man or whatever.
Yeah, but also I want you to remember my last relationship with a woman. She broke up with me to go bang dudes.
That is true. Yeah. No, I'm
So, like,
saying it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And also, like, some of that is society. Some of that is culture at large. Some of that is like the fact that we're living in fascism, and it is safer to be seen as heterosexual than to be seen as homosexual,
Yeah.
especially as a woman.
Yeah. I wish a lot of women that are attracted to men would also understand that they need to be cautious with what men they end up with, because we're not living in a society, hopefully, knock on wood, never, but like yet, where we have to marry a man to be safe in society. Right now, you can be a single woman, have a job, have a bank account, and live independently. You do have that as an option. I know it's slim pickings with men. That's why I don't prefer them. It's not because I'm less attracted to them. It's because I know
Mostly
what
they're
they are
terrible.
a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of bi women that are like, well, I'm going to opt out and end up with a man. You're in danger with a man too. Your visual, like, society isn't going to fuck with you as much if they see you as heterosexual, but also men are more likely to kill you in a relationship. Fuck you over financially. Women that get married tend to live less long of a life when they're married to a man, as opposed to being single their whole life. Yes, visibly you're more safe if people see you as heterosexual, but also if you're in a heterosexual relationship as a woman, you're in more danger.
Yeah,
you know,
that makes sense too.
There are a lot of things that I definitely understand with the discourse. I understand why some lesbians end up very biphobic. I do get it. But on the flip side, and now don't cancel me here, if you're a lesbian watching
Got my
this,
finger on the cancel button right now.
I had a friend late last year. You were there for this.
I was there.
I had a friend who was a lesbian, and she would say biphobic things to me, and hold on. I think it's okay if you're a lesbian that wants to date other lesbians for, you know, the shared experience of being a lesbian. I understand that. Her reasoning that she would volunteer this information to me. Just bring it up out of nowhere. And like, looking back on it, she wasn't a good friend to me. She was always kind of in like some weird competition with me, always trying to kind of like make me feel like, oh, well, like I would never be. And I'm like, I don't know why you bring this up. I never talked to you about this, but like, I'm not into you like that either. But she would say, I would never want to date a bi woman because I think it's disgusting thinking of my wife or girlfriend being with a man. She would say it like that. Also, many years ago, she would say a lot of transphobic things that I would check her on, and then like after 1 or 2 times of checking her on it, she would stop saying those things. So I assumed she was coming around. Even some of the stuff she would say later down the road about trans people was a lot more like factual and not so transphobic. So I kind of thought she was coming around. Did she say transphobic shit at that party where we had a falling off with her?
I don't think I heard anything specifically transphobic. I also feel like she probably would have not said it within earshot of me.
Yeah, I feel like she wouldn't have said it around me either with
Yeah.
my trans friends at the party.
Right. But she did bring like a weird, like,
That one bitch was so weird.
sort of, like,
Zionist, weird.
anti-Semitic, not Zionist.
Oh, no, she wasn't Zionist.
No,
she was,
she
yeah,
was-
she, like, was just like, oh, no, all Jews are evil,
She
yeah.
just at one point was like, maybe Hitler had some good points, and I was like,
like,
what,
what
the fuck?
bitch?
Why
Yeah.
are you in my house? Who are you?
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy.
So,
That shit was unacceptable.
let me break down what happened. Chloe and I had a gathering around Christmas time last year with a group of friends, and she was just doing weird shit all night. I had a friend at this party pull me to the side and say that she had forced her to kiss her when she had told her no and kept trying to do it and was really uncomfortable and wanted
I
to leave.
witnessed it happen.
And Chloe
Yeah.
saw it happen.
Yeah.
So
and then we went into my room and like talked about it for a
and
while.
I was like, I want to
Decompressed.
drag this bitch out of the apartment. And she begged me, and she was like, please don't make a big scene. Though I wanted to do it anyways, I wanted to respect my friend who asked me not to. And I've also been in a situation where it's like, why won't you let me do something about it? And it's like, hey, like when you get sexually assaulted, especially when it had just happened, like, it's not a good feeling and you don't want to draw attention to yourself. I get that perspective. So I hit up the friend who was assaulted the next day and was like, hey, I'm gonna tell this bitch to fuck off. And she's like, please don't do it because of me. And I'm like, no, there were other things along the way, and this was the final straw. So I hit the bitch up and was like, you're a fucking weird bitch. I don't care that you're a tiny little girl. It's weird that somebody was telling you no and you couldn't respect.
Went forward anyway.
Yeah, there was not consent there. You would think, especially because she was a stripper, I used to dance with her, like, you would think you understand consent doing the job that you and I have both done for a decade. Fuck you. And she did a lot of, like, weird manipulative shit and then, like, begged you to get me to unblock her. It was a whole thing. Fuck that bitch. Yeah. The ironic part about this friend that she assaulted is she's a bi girl with a boyfriend. And I'm like, oh, all those times you would sit there and be like, yeah, I could never date a bisexual girl because I just think it's gross to think of my partner with a guy, but you're, like, assaulting my bisexual friend who has a boyfriend.
Yeah, you're,
fuck
like,
you.
trying to
you're a weird bitch.
Her back gay or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the fuck that was.
I don't know. And then she was kind of weird and racist about, like, was like, I never used to find her attractive until I found out she was Hispanic. Like, what?
It's a wild thing to say.
So you're also fetishizing her because she's Latina? That's so fucking weird.
It's really weird.
Like,
that's
so
really weird.
Fuck that bitch for real. Shit like that does happen. I think it's pretty rare. That is the only lesbian I've ever known personally that has been biphobic to me in a way that I think is misogynistic and harmful and, you know, whatever else. I know it's a touchy subject with a lot of lesbians.
Yeah.
And I feel lesbians on a lot of their gripes with bisexuals that, like, bitch about biphobia. It is such a big demographic in the queer community to be bisexual, and it can mean a lot of different things. That's why I wish we had labels for it.
Yeah.
So it made the conversations easier to navigate. So we have to have these conversations with each other, and they usually end up kind of hostile because everyone is on edge, and it's hard to communicate certain things. But I will say at the end of the day, the problem always is misogyny and homophobia and the sexualization of sapphic women. So the Queer Collective, the podcast that was, you know, getting flamed online, they put out an apology today saying we kind of understand, you know, like, where we, like, missed the mark or whatever. There are people that have said they've said other problematic shit too in the past. I also know they're funded by the Canadian government, which I feel like when a government, especially with the rise of fascism right now,
it feels weird for a government to be
funding a queer podcast,
queer content at all.
Seems kind of strange.
Yeah.
I guess one of the hosts said something along the lines of, like, if you're non-binary and you try to present almost like a trans woman, people will gender you correctly as a non-binary person. Something kind of weird like that. I guess they said something along the lines of trans women are, like, socialized as men, which is a really problematic talking point. There were a couple of trans women that were like, it's very apparent that these people don't have close trans female friends in their life.
Right.
And like, it shows. And it's weird that they're having conversations about trans people and not having these conversations with trans people, like, frequently in their everyday life. Like, I feel like if you're going to talk about trans stuff, you should have close trans friends that you're, like, having those conversations with about, you know.
Just air out your grievances or feelings on the internet before you fucking know if you're right or not.
Yeah. Like, even, like, my TikTok, like, I, you know, solo, like, advocate for trans people's rights, but it's mostly me parroting things like you and other trans friends I have said. I go out of my way to specify, like, I think every, like, 2 or 3 months I'll make a video being like, hey, if you're a cis person that, like, gets information about trans people from me, follow some actual trans people, because it's really weird if you're only listening to cis people about it. You know, like, I'll, like, suggest certain accounts, like friends and mutuals that I follow and people that aren't mutuals. I think like, if you're going to speak on the trans community, especially, like, with how fragile the community is right now in the state of the world, you should do your due diligence to make sure you know what you're talking about. I've even put up some videos where, like, I will cross-check, like, with you or other trans people I know, and you'll be like, the information you said is fine. Most of the people that actually follow me are very good about, like, hey, I'm not attacking you, I just think this was insensitive, or, like, you missed the mark a little bit. I'll get some people that are, like, new here that are like, fuck you, you know, but, like, if I get more than like 3-4 comments like that from trans people, I'll usually private the video and just take it down, especially if I'm getting, like, conflicting information from trans people I know in real life. It's not a conversation for me to have. I try to be responsible about it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been yapping the whole time.
Kind of. I've been butting in here and there, mostly just to say something that you say is wrong. So
I feel like for me, because there have been a few things we wanted to like do episodes on besides this, like certain topics that are more like queer discourse, where like maybe in the future there are certain topics we'll touch on. But I feel like with the state of our country and really just the world right now, there are certain conversations that aren't that serious, that just cause infighting, and I sometimes feel like don't really help anything.
Sure.
So unless I feel like it's the right time to comment and I've got a like collected, like, you know, organized thought together about it that I think is like pretty solid, I usually kind of avoid it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The biphobia thing is kind of in that category.
Yeah, it's not the most important issue, but also it's like it keeps coming up and like it keeps being a thing. And also like it's worth commenting on because of the fact that like the fascists want us to fight each other.
Yeah, and that's why I try to avoid it right now. There are certain
But it's also worth like it's worth having the conversation because the conversation is about us hating each other and about how we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that's ultimately the message and the takeaway is like feel how you want to feel, but like quit fucking getting in your platform and being like, I don't like bisexuals or whatever. Like, you know, like, okay, that's fine. If you want to have a preference, if you want to go out there and be like, I just can't do it, fine. But you don't need to like broadcast it to the world. You know, like that's a whole other thing too.
Yeah.
Because at that point you are picking a fight. At that point, you are asking for the discourse to come for you.
Yeah.
And maybe you're doing it because you're trying to, like, get some traction on a video. You're trying to fucking, like, I don't know. I don't know why people are doing the shit that they're doing. But, like, they want us to fight.
Yeah,
And if you say things like that, you are inviting us to fight each other.
Yeah. This is the thing, too. A lot of these conversations are, like, chronically online conversations. Because, like, you're my best friend, and then I have one other best friend that I've known for 20 plus years from high school, who's also a lesbian. Both of you are lesbians. We never have this discourse in real life. Any of my lesbian friends, like, we never have this, like, you're being biphobic to me thing. Like, even with my friend that was being misogynistic and biphobic to me, like, I never, like, I just kind of brushed it off, like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to change your mind. It's a weird take, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, life goes
She's
on.
just one person.
Yeah. I just feel like some of these conversations are chronically online. And also, I feel like I personally especially with like our podcast, my TikTok account, like I try to keep the conversations about, you know, progressing us forward so we can have rights and freedoms and like things
sharing
get better for everybody.
Sharing knowledge, sharing facts, sharing science.
Sharing
it's in
our
fucking
feelings
theme
about
song.
shit.
Our feelings,
A lot of people get mad at the lesbian community when they're trying to speak on it. And I think we have to remember that, like, especially coming from marginalized groups like the queer community, like, people have trauma from, like, the hierarchy we're living under and the way we're treated, especially if there's, like, intersectional things going on, you know? I'll see some lesbians make videos where I'm like, I think this was a little, like, you missed the mark, but also, like, I'm not going to come for that person because, like, if you're a lesbian, you're probably more marginalized than I am, you know? And it's coming from a place of hurt and trauma. Like, I'm not going to sit there and argue with somebody who's more marginalized than I am about, like, something, even if they are, like, kind of speaking from a place of emotion and not, you know, thinking the whole thing through. I'm not going to, like, flack somebody for that. And I don't think it helps. So I saw one clip from that one episode that I was watching the full thing through, and one thing they did to kind of say is they framed biphobia as like, this was started by lesbians and like blah blah blah, and like this is rooted from like the queer community. And I'm like, no, this is rooted
lesbians invented
biphobia, which is like,
no, that doesn't make any sense.
And this is the thing, I wanted to like that podcast because I felt like, you know, just based on some of the clips I'd seen, I was like, I feel like they kind of are doing a similar-ish thing. And I hadn't really watched like a full episode. I've watched like bits and pieces, like maybe I'll get 20 minutes through an episode or I'll like watch some clips here and there because I just discovered them very recently. So it was very disappointing to hear they were missing the mark. Maybe their content will get better. I really don't know.
Maybe. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they are not.
Yeah, and I mean, we aren't either, so.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
We're probably fucking up sometimes. I bet if I watched some of our early videos, I'd be like, oh God.
Yeah.
You know, like I've learned so much shit in just the time since we've started.
Yeah, we've grown a lot.
Yeah.
Even like intellectually speaking.
I feel like it's not really a topic that needs my voice as a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like I've said the couple things that I think about it, which is like, have your preference if you want to, like, but also who fucking cares? Like, that's for you to work out with somebody who's trying to sleep with you and like basically nobody else. You know?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
as a trans person, like, I haven't experienced biphobia, but I've experienced transphobia, and sometimes that does specifically come from lesbians who, like, if I hit on them, they're like, you're trying to like coerce me into sleeping with you, and it's like, no,
you're like, you could just say you're not interested and relax.
Just say no, and I'll walk away like I would with any other person who said no. I don't need to know it's because I'm trans. Like, you could literally just be like, no thanks. Like, I would much prefer no thanks to I don't like you because you're trans.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't need to know that. I'm getting that from the rest of the world every single fucking day.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't need it. And if you don't want to sleep with me, we're not going to sleep together.
Yeah,
like,
it's
that's
fine.
it.
That's all the...
That's the end of the conversation.
Or like...
You know? Like, I'm not trying to trick you. But also, it is a little transphobic to assume that I'm a man or that, like, you're breaking your gold star because I have a penis when, like, I wouldn't even want to do anything with that in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to sleep with me. I don't want you to sleep with me. You'd probably be a bad time if this
is how you're
the
acting,
energy you're matching me with.
Yeah.
And in that one aspect, thank you for letting me know, so I'll avoid you for fucking ever.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's just a weird thing, you know? Like, there's some nuance there, and like both sides of the conversation are completely missing the mark on it, and like, you know, it's just fucking weird. And I'm gonna keep doing me, and I'm gonna live my best life, and I hope you do the same. Just don't fuck with me.
Yeah. No, like, even like, because I'm not trans, I don't get the transphobia end of it, but even there are just some bitches that, like, you tell them that you're gay and they're just like, well, I don't want to sleep with you, and it's just like, bitch, fucking relax, so you're not my type either, like, calm down, you know? Like, it's just
like, at least this aspect of the conversation is reminding me of like the homophobia that men have. It's just like, if they find out you're gay, they're like, oh, stay away from me, you're probably trying to fuck. Like, just like that immediate, like, oh, why do you want to fuck me? And it's like, I didn't say I want to fuck you.
Yeah, like, relax. I empathize more with women that do that because, like, most women have experienced sexual assault, so we tend to just, in general, be a little more jumpy to shit. But, like, when dudes do it, I'm like, you are afraid a dude's gonna treat you the way you treat women. You know what I mean? Like,
there are pushy and aggressive women, probably of all types, you know?
Men are always the problem, though.
Men are always the problem.
Yeah.
If we didn't live in patriarchy, that shit wouldn't be happening.
I've had way more bad interactions with men on just about any topic we cover. I sometimes feel like a lot of the, like, queer discourse is like government psy-ops. Like, they're putting shit out there, bots putting shit out there to get people to start, like, getting in their feelings and like having conversations that might not be rational even. And I feel like they usually target really marginalized groups like lesbians and trans people to get them in their feelings, so that way people will attack a more marginalized group. I think when you're, like, a little bit higher up in the hierarchy, like, when it comes to being marginalized, you should be responsible about, like, how you're having the conversations, because you might have your trauma too, but, like, you be considerate of, sometimes people are speaking from emotion and not necessarily logic, and you don't always have to take that on and comment on it. Just let people feel how they feel.
I don't know if it's a government psy-op, but I definitely think there's a psy-op targeting lesbians, pushing the narrative that trans women are, like, trying to fucking sleep with them every day. Like, I think that that's happening because like there's
Yeah.
so much emotional response
I think it's like
from a specific type of lesbian.
Yeah, most of the lesbians I see when it comes to biphobia, like, because they'll say certain things and I'll be like, okay, I agree with you. Are you transphobic? Do I actually fuck with you? Most of the time they are not transphobic, and they very much support trans women and believe they're women and think it is fine if they're lesbians, and I fuck with that. But I do think it's almost like a push to, and look, tinfoil hat. I feel like a crazy person. It's just theories, you know? But, like, I do think they try to push marginalized people into their trauma so they'll, like, lash out at other marginalized groups.
I know they are.
Yeah.
I know they're doing that.
Yeah.
Like, we watched The Great Hack. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
We know they're doing this shit.
That documentary should sponsor us at this point.
Well, one thing I will promise is that we will never be government sponsored.
Yeah, fuck that.
Any government.
If you are a small business, especially a queer-owned business or a woman-owned business, and, like, you know,
Yeah.
like
You
a
can
black-owned
sponsor us.
business, as long
Yeah.
as you're, like,
We'll
inclusive of
promote
other
your shit.
people. Yeah,
We promoted
like,
Vasari Corps.
hell yeah.
You know? Rep
Yeah.
to Vasari Corps.
Great
and
t-shirts for Pride.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, reach out to us for sure.
we would love it.
Yeah. But we got to come together as the queer community. Like, there are some conversations that I think need to be put on the back burner until we fight what is happening right now. You know?
I agree. Go
Yeah.
check out the rest of our videos to hear about those things.
Yeah. I also want to point out real fast, there's this older trans woman, sweet and saucy Sophia. I love her. She moved out of the country. She's, like, much older, but I really appreciate her takes. But she very occasionally will put out a video being like, hey, all you youngins, just so you know, I've been saying for years, you guys are worried about what people identify as and, like, what this means and what that means, and having all this weird discourse about your identities, and they're stripping you of your rights. You guys need to lock in and stop infighting. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think listening to queer elders is so important right now too, because they fought through some even worse times.
Fully agree.
So,
Fully agree. And let's get our fucking rights back.
yeah. Yep.
Topple the patriarchy.
Yep. Take it down.
Take it down. Yeah. Anything else we want to say?
I think that pretty much wraps it up.
That feels good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
All right. Stop dying.
I'm trying. Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. We're so happy you were here. Hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, hit the bell,
Yeah,
leave a
let us
comment.
know down there if there's any other types of discourse that you'd like us to cover, or
Yeah.
any other whatever, we'll take it. Or shoot us an email, thegendergap@gmail.com.
Yes.
And we will see you, I don't know what day this is coming out, but either Wednesday or Sunday with more content. All right.
Yeah.
We love you.
Love you. Bye.
Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science.